This is Yugioh.
This is Fern Halls.
And you are listening to Aetheryte Radio.
Aetheryte Radio.
Here we go.
All right, hello and welcome to Aetheryte Radio, Gamerscape's Final Fantasy XIV podcast. I'm Fusion X. Today we've got Zenidra, we've got Aldino, we've got Rook, and joining us today we've got Super Lewis 64. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Welcome.
So real quick, before we get into our main topic for the show, there's a couple news points we want to go over real quick. And so we got I think we talked about this last week, live letters coming up. Friday, September 17th at 7 p.m. Pacific. That's going to be 10 Eastern. Or if you're Rook, that's going to be 9 Central.
Thank you for making sure that I know what time it is.
I wanted to feel, I wanted you to feel represented. I also am used to be a Central person. I know how it feels.
I feel seen and validated right now. So thank you.
Good.
Or I'm also a Central person. I've been here too long.
There we go.
Right, as soon as I can.
Give me the weirdo on the East Coast.
Oh, the Yeehaw Central, the Texas Central.
Sorry.
No,
I'm like
fine.
the opposite. I'm the Chicago, Illinois.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's why you'll see me drink a lot of water because it's 100-something degrees right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's bad.
Oh my gosh. It's like, what is it? It's not even 70 here, and I have to like get the fans going. I'm like dying in here.
70.
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific
Over there.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Plus
haven't
my
seen
computer,
70
my computer is a
years.
space heater, so.
Lewis is like, you just need to get good at weather, Fusion. You need to deal
Oh.
with 70 degrees. You kidding me? I'm in Texas.
I used to
Yeah,
walk
never.
out. I used to walk outside at like 4 a.m. to go to work in like negative 20 degrees, and I would just have like a hoodie on.
Negative.
Negative.
Negative. I've never
like,
seen
whatever.
a negative on weather.
I can deal with the cold. It's the heat that kills me. Anyway.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I went up to Illinois, that was the most north I'd ever been. It was for my husband's graduation from Navy boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad I packed a scarf because oh my gosh. That was bad. I
Experiencing
don't
those
ever want to
temperatures.
go that far north again.
For the first time, yeah.
Anyway, news. See, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, there's that.
Tangents all the time.
like
We have a
tangents.
show.
Friday, September
You
17th.
guys like tangents, right?
7 p.m. Pacific. This is going to be the big one. This is going to be all the battle changes coming with Endwalker. This is more or less going to be that same live letter that you'd get with the media tour. It's going to be that same type of information. So it'll be big. We are planning to try and do some live reactions right here on this channel. If we can figure that out, we will announce that on Twitter, on Discord. Make sure to follow that. We'll announce those at the end of the show in case you don't know where those are already.
I'll try not to be tipsy this time so I don't break anybody's eardrums.
I'm sorry. I do not like this, and I don't agree
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
You should
Okay.
just live your truth
Yeah.
and be wonderful. Your laughter brings me joy.
Everybody grab
Whoever you are.
your beverage of choice and
And some earmuffs.
Oh boy.
and get ready for
Water.
we're gonna take all the
Yes.
support abilities away from Bard and Machinist and just focus on Dancer because it's new and that's
Wow.
I have strong mixed feelings about this because on one hand I do like Dancer, but on the other hand I do want Bard to be good again. Well, it's not like it's bad now, but you know what I mean. I want to feel like a Bard.
See, I can't drink because then my summoner screeching would be incoherent as well as screeching.
I'm
So-
sorry. And yet again I say, why would you
So,
deprive us of this?
my immediate thought was like, how do we DoorDash booze to how do we is this a thing that we can
I myself would just love to become a listener one podcast and just hear you go off, Charles, for like an hour about Summoner. I think it would be the best thing
and
ever.
then
I
we
would
just
be
pull
so
we pull
into
Moose
it.
in and then it just turns into but the lore.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I
All
like it.
summoners canonically will be killed by Tiamat for summoning Bahamut.
Mhm, That's it.
That's the new.
It's over.
and
What if
that's
you're a
how
really
Warriors
bad
like
summoner and never did it?
Yeah.
Well, then you get
Called
rewarded
out.
for that, I guess.
Mhm.
You get to survive.
Get rewarded for your
You
badness.
get a Ramu Eggy glam. That's your
Oh yeah, that's how you finally get it.
That's how you
That was
finally
the secret
get it.
strat.
The Final Fantasy 14 and 15 collab is coming back. This is going to start on September 13th, so this week.
Get your car.
Yes,
Yes. Get your
Golden
get your
Saucer is going to be
MGP
packed.
saved.
Oh
up.
yeah, it will.
Save that MGP. I think it's 200K, 200,000. Is that right?
200 to 230.
250,
Because there's also
230,
there's also a hairstyle
right.
in there. I'm trying to remember. I've been seeing numbers. It was like 200, 230, something like that. Either way, if you don't have that and you don't have the car and you want the car, which you should because it's a 4-person mount, go get that MGP. So that's going to run till October 18th. So you'll have a little bit of time.
Yeah, nice amount of time.
If you have done the event already, you'll be able to do a quest replay feature. So it'll reset your progress and you can go through it again if you want.
You want to?
If you
Okay.
want. Square Enix presents at Tokyo Game Show 2021. This is going to start October 3rd at 5 a.m. Pacific
Yep.
because it's TGS.
Yes.
So
Always
Next
fun.
time.
yeah. So this is going to be a stroll with Yoshi P at Tokyo Game Show. So it'll be
That sounds
Yoshida,
lovely.
Yeah.
Yoshida and Foxconn doing their walk around the servers and stuff. There's going to be some other presentations for TGS as well from Square, including they're going to show off Forspoken, I believe, like Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Remember that? That was a game that they were working
Chaos.
Oh, yeah, chaos.
I must kill chaos.
on.
Right.
So yeah, the link for the whole Square Enix TGS thing is up on the load zone, so check that out if you're interested.
Mhm.
And of course, last but not least, here we have another Tales from the Twilight added, which we will we'll cover all of those in a future episode here. We got a lot of episodes. We got a lot of stuff to do between now and Endwalker, so
Oh man.
I
gonna
didn't
be-
read it yet, but I'm
gonna be
ready to
fun.
cry.
it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
And that is it for news. We did it.
We
That's
did
the
it.
show, everybody.
Nice.
Thank you for-
Oh.
oh wait, hold on.
Okay.
Almost made it.
Yeah.
So, if anybody frequents social media, there's probably a fair chance that the last couple weeks you've been seeing some crazy guy that took a Yu-Gi-Oh thing and engineered it, and now he can play Astrologian with it. That's Lewis right here.
Hey, it's me.
Right,
we're
I don't know
talking
how I
about
got
that.
to it, but
So
honestly, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
I'll say I still don't know why I did it, but I remember I was looking in my closet and I started. Well, I was an Astro Mage or main when I started playing 14, and I was sitting there. I was like, well, if I have a dual disc, someone in my FC made a joke about playing Yu-Gi-Oh as an Astro, and I was like, wait a minute, I can combine the two into something really dumb, and that's how it came to be.
I mean, so many great things come from just committing to a joke
hmm
and just going
Absolutely.
completely overboard, and I love it.
Mhm.
Like that was going to be my first question: is how did this whole thing start? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Where
the
did the
biggest
dual
dump-
disc come from, though?
It's just been there. I've had it for a long time. Like it literally just exists there.
See, guys, it's okay to be a hoarder.
It was meant to be.
Thank you,
Look-
thank
Yeah.
you for telling me that it's okay. I
As we look
appreciate
behind
that.
Fusion, if you can see Fusion's cams right now, depending on if you're watching or listening, yes, the sheer wall of collections. I mean,
Ooh.
sometimes you get something years past, and then it just collects dust in some corner of where you're living, and then one day you find it again, and you're going, "Oh my gosh, this thing."
Yeah,
I had
this
that this
thing.
past week. I've actually been purging a little bit, getting rid of some stuff. Opened up my closet. Stretch Armstrong. I
Ooh.
found a Stretch Armstrong. Do you know what happens to a Stretch Armstrong that's been in the closet for 4 years?
Gets
I don't
hard.
think I
I'm
wanna
sure
know.
nothing bad.
He's Crack
Bad.
Armstrong now.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, let's
Oh.
stretch. Oh,
Oh no.
Oh,
oh.
It's
that's why you
Not
gotta
like-
hydrate him. You gotta
Yeah.
hydrate him. It's important.
Remember to keep your Stretch Armstrongs hydrated.
Things I never would have thought I heard.
Right? Everybody, welcome
Now-
to the show. We talk about whatever we
Everything.
Whatever.
want. We say we're a
happens.
Final Fantasy 14 podcast, but you know what? If we want to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh and Stretch Armstrong, we're gonna do it.
That was just to sucker you in. You're trapped now.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, I enjoy it so far. So
No, one thing that I actually loved, like watching some of the videos and YouTube stuff that you did with this, like talking about more of adapting this, was the fact that it actually looks like there may have been early drafts of Astrologian that used a weapon that was almost identical to this, which I mean, maybe had you seen those before you decided to do this,
No,
or did you find
that's
them
great.
afterwards?
I found it afterwards. So someone pointed that out to me, and I was like, "What kind of universe am I not in? I could be playing this version of Astro the whole time, actually
weird
drawing
because-
Monster Reborn to revive people or something."
Right.
It's funny. I saw in the video. I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that because that was like PAX East when they showed.
really?
It
Okay.
was it was PAX East. They showed the Heavensward benchmark trailer, and then they showed some concept stuff for Machinist and Astrologian. And yeah, that was one of the things they showed, and everybody's like,
Hey.
"Oh, why didn't they
Man.
use this one instead?
Yeah.
We just have this like weird little thing of cards on our belt now."
And for anybody who doesn't know what a dual disc controller is, it's essentially like, you can look it up and I'm sure you can find it, but it is essentially this thing that kind of
You
like
just pick it
straps.
up.
Yeah, or you can pick it up. It straps onto your arm, and then it has these like little slots on it. So it has this kind of almost like stage that sticks off your arm, or this like little
Almost poking my
like
eye.
yeah, and you can like put the cards into the different
careful.
slots. So you draw them out of the deck, and then you put them into one of these slots to like essentially play it, which is,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a cool weapon idea, honestly.
It just, to me, because I only play DPS mostly, as you know. Playing a healer, the thing that always gets me is targeting each individual party member, and
Yeah.
that dual disc is so amazing, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot who made the macro, but someone had a really good
Yeah.
Astro macro that was like, "Hey," because I have to use it normally when I play
Mhm.
Astro because I don't like tabbing through people.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna misclick. I'm gonna give the wrong card to somebody, or I'm probably not gonna heal if I do it right. So,
Right.
So having that macro really saved the dual disc itself. Because if I didn't, I would have to figure out how to make like a mouse for it, and that's
Mhm.
a lot of work for a joke. So
Look, if you're gonna commit
Hold
to
on.
something,
yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
fair.
Wait, you can't stop there with "that's a lot of work for a joke." What you've already done is a lot of work for a
Okay,
joke.
true.
so
I was thinking, because I used to really like Astro, but the way they changed it made me kind of like it
Oh yeah,
less.
I was there when that happened
And
too.
yeah. I think we all former Astro mains,
Yeah.
probably have.
But with your dual disc there, you kind of maybe brought some of the fun back, or at least some of the desperation, right?
Yes. Do y'all still remember the old cards? Like there was 2 cards you didn't use. You said redraw on site, and then there
Yeah.
was like defense buff, and then there was the damage buff. But there was because I remember back then,
Was the mono
Ash was
one?
there was a mono one. Yeah, I was like, I remember we
Was
just
there a
ran out of
TP
mana
one?
for free.
There's
I think
Yeah.
there was a
crit,
TP one.
crit up.
Oh,
There
there's a
was a
crit one,
TP
okay.
one. There was the damage reduction. There was the mana replen. There was and of course then they had the like dual meanings, right? So like you
Yeah.
could burn some of them for a different effect. So even
Mhm.
if it was one that you didn't often play, you could oftentimes burn it to then spread it or increase potency or stuff like that, which was really nice.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I just like the decision making, I think, of old Astro.
Yeah.
Although new Astro, plays just fine. It's not like it doesn't work or, it's broken or terrible or anything. But I have to agree with Zed. I think that seeing you do this with like the card slots and stuff, I was going, hey, well, maybe I go back to playing some Astrologian if I had a dual disc controller set up.
That was actually the ultimate plan, is to convert everyone back to Astro.
got him.
Down with White Mage, up with Astro.
It's making
Oh.
me miss my Rook and Bishop turrets now on Machinist.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Oh.
dude.
Remember
You know, I'll
when
take
we
the
could-
glove.
when we had refresh? I remember
Yeah.
refresh.
I remember when I had
I
3 bullets and I
still-
was like, what do I do with this?
Healers,
My bullets
healers
are gone.
remember when we had refresh.
Mhm.
I do. It was a sad,
I
sad
miss
day when it got
refresh.
taken away.
Yeah. I miss like a healer has just died, but also needs to raise somebody.
Mhm.
It's like I can help you, but now I can't.
Mhm.
You're on your own. Sorry.
Sorry.
So what was
Just
what
good
was the
times.
hardest part of this build? I mean, I know in the video you said it didn't really have anything inside the dual disc to begin with, so you had to
Mhm.
basically find the different boards and the circuits and all this stuff.
Right.
What was the hardest part of this build?
Yeah, luckily for me, I have a ton of boards from just previous projects, but the hardest part for me was doing the programming side of things, because as far as I never want to affect the games, any game I work on, any modification to the files. So I kind
Mhm.
of had to do things on my own. And the hardest part was mapping the same draw feature to 2 different actions, because I didn't want to have a separate draw for redraw. So I
Mm.
pretty much had to make my own script to pretty much say, hey, once I draw, have a 30-second cooldown on my side to keep that as redraw, and then once it's done, go back to draw. So
Right, like a internal toggle.
Yeah,
That.
mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
great.
and
So
also
good
making
for
that
programming.
making that a feature was, oh sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, it's like you have
That's
to slide your hand across. So the way it works on here, I can't really show because it's a
Yeah.
mess over there. You pretty much slide your hand, so it's not like detecting like a light source or a motion sensor. It's just like a trick of the light where it's like there is a I guess you close the circuit by sliding your thumb across the drawing slot. So technically you can like Wiimote it up and just press it and it'll activate,
Sure.
but like you know, it's not that much fun. So that was pretty hard to come up with.
Luce, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Like, I know absolutely nothing about anything technology related except for the few
Oh, me
bits of
too.
knowledge I've had to learn to survive on Twitch. But like hearing you be like, yeah, and then how am I gonna make it so that the card gets drawn and it registers that? I can't even imagine. Like, did you literally think about the Wii? Like, were you thinking about other consoles that did something with like motion registering, or like what led you to the decisions about like each component? I mean, and how you kind of put it together and then created it. Especially, I mean, if you said you didn't know anything about technology either, that's even more wild.
Right.
Yeah, my biggest goal was not to affect the dual disc as much as possible because one, I don't know if you can get these anywhere else, and
Right.
that's been probably there since I was a kid. It's definitely because I can't even fit my arm in the arm guard anymore.
Right.
Or like, the thing is so small. It's like I am not 10 years old anymore. But yeah, the reason I guess I didn't really have anything else to go off of. The original idea was using like an RFID, like the amiibos, right? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Right.
try something from there, but that is expensive. It is a lot of money to get stuff in there. But so I was like, there's got to be a way to make things conductive. Because before I made a controller out of bananas, and the idea is like, hey, bananas are conductors. So if you plug a wire into them, you can
Right.
technically close a circuit and send a keyboard input. So I was like, all right, how do we turn our Yu-Gi-Oh cards into bananas? And, we're not going to just squeeze a banana on a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
What game were the bananas for?
I've done it for Dark Souls and like Overwatch in the past, but
Okay. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping it was like Donkey Kong related.
oh, I should.
Super Monkey Ball.
I see y'all
There we
later. Oh
Super Monkey
yeah,
Ball.
it's coming out soon.
What
Isn't
you
it?
need to do is you need to take
think
the
so.
bananas and just make like a sphere with them, and then
Banana Sphere, the new
Yeah.
gaming controller for people.
Bongos would be good too.
yeah.
Stargazer.
There
Oh,
are
yeah, I
the
have a-
Donkey Konga bongos. I got a couple of those still.
I have a
Yeah.
couple of those, but like behind this green screen, I
Yeah.
have a couple.
Those
Yeah.
are rough though. There's only like four inputs I think on there.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
2 bongs. Is that
And
the
then
right
there's
term?
there's a bong,
Yeah, that's absolutely it. It's
Totally.
just
Are they
two
bongs?
bongs.
and then there's an audible, and I think
percussionist,
there's like
yes,
one
definitely.
button maybe. It's been so long.
I
since
am a
played
certified
Donkey Konga.
percussionist. That's what they're called, definitely.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm gonna go with drums.
Sure.
That makes more sense, but I do like 2 bongs. Or
I
I
do.
mean,
I mean, the
yeah.
cat can be the O, so that's why they're called bongos.
There we are.
Alright.
We've got
Okay,
the
sorry.
etymology now. No, it's
Well,
fine.
not squeezing banana juice. I was like, there's got to be a way to have something conductive on like paper. And I'm like, graphite's one way, but I didn't want to like pencil in every Yu-Gi-Oh card. Then I found out about conductive paint, and I was like, wait a minute, that can be easily done because I can just kind of make I guess I could use cardboard and make an outline and just press the card onto wet paint and like mass produce it really fast. So when you have the Yu-Gi-Oh card in your hand, I have one right here. Nice, good job, Pass Lewis. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the outlines on it. So when you're holding onto it and you press or you put it into the slot that's connected to my board, you close the circuit. So that sends in an input to press the back row. And I was like, I think this is the easiest way to do it, or the most cost-effective way,
Right.
without doing the probably better way of using like RFIDs and stuff. So
Yeah, that would be
I
a
kinda
lot
just-
more work too. I think instead of just
Yeah.
painting a border on some cards and
Yeah. Then you could get specific, like you would know which card it is because
oh,
it's
that'd be
RFID.
so cool.
But like
Yeah.
that's a lot of work.
That's a lot.
I know.
Like-
I did have a moment where, and it's funny because I was actually talking about this when we got the new, like collector's edition information for Endwalker, where I was like, oh, I really wish, and I've always wished that they would actually do like a full deck of the Astrologian
Oh yeah,
tarot
that'd be
cards.
so
Right.
cool.
Like, printed, and in my head when you were talking about all this, I was like, oh my gosh, how could you get those cards and then print them and then use them in this?
Oh,
And then
that'd be so
would there
cool.
be any
Yeah.
way to actually get it to register which card you had drawn? And like that'd be so neat, but I'm sure way more difficult.
it's funny. We actually have tarot cards for 11. Final Fantasy 11
nice.
had tarot cards at one of the fan fests. They would give you a pack that had like think it was like 4 of the same one, and then you had to find other people to trade with.
Right,
It
I
was
remember
like
that.
like an icebreaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
They did that with the triple triad cards for the
Yeah.
14 fan fest, like the
There
second
you
one, I
go.
think.
Yep.
did they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
you
I
could collect
remember
all of them.
I don't know.
Wow. All right.
Did you not want them? You just didn't want them.
Dang, I'll take them.
Me not wanting them? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I wanted like everything I could get my hands on. Like,
I
trying to
remember.
bribe people at the booth, like, hey, can I have a couple of those things?
Just
I
hanging
didn't
out.
actually do that. If I did, I might have actually gotten them though. So
I mean, swag is very, very important
It's
from
crucial.
any sort of show.
I mean,
Yeah.
Like, you have to get it. You only have one chance.
right? Yeah, that's it. That's the event that thing is gonna be at. They're not gonna have
Mhm.
cardboard red mage hats at any other event. You got to get them then.
Yipes. That's all I got. Yipes.
Yeah,
That's
just
fair.
yikes.
That's
Okay.
fair. So then with the conductive paint, is that paint on the dual disc too? Then
Yes, that's
Mhm.
how you can't really tell, and I think that's like one of my things I really liked, just making sure you couldn't tell that there's wiring on it. So I pretty
Mhm.
much painted the outlines just a little bit, just enough to have the card touch it when you put it into the slot, and you can technically do defense or offense, where I guess side or vertical, and it'll still work.
that's
Yeah.
really cool.
I love this. It's like technical cosplay. Just like
Yeah. It
sitting
really-
and thinking, how can I best make this really stupid piece of
see, now what you need to do is you need to give it a full coat of paint, like the concept art, and just show up as like
Mhm.
conceptual.
That's what I was
Astrologian
thinking.
To a
I would
fan
love the
fest.
cosplay to Astro with the dual
Oh,
disc. Yeah, I would love to do that.
dress up
That'd
as
be amazing.
That'd be
Urianger.
super fun.
There you go.
Okay,
Looking at
well, I'm
Fusion.
working on that at some point.
Oh my
First
gosh,
things first.
it would be my actual best day of my life if I went to a convention and you were dressed as Urianger and you just came
Yeah,
up
I
and
was
you were
gonna
like,
say, I was gonna do that too. Yeah.
mine dual discus controller.
You get
So
you
good.
get one friend with a wearable Raspberry Pi that has the
Oh,
sound
yeah.
effect of getting the
Oh.
buff. Right, so you press
Yeah,
it
you
down
can-
and
yeah,
it
that'd be
triggers
sick.
that. Yep. There you go.
You just need like some
Like the door
star-shaped
lights up?
confetti to throw
Yeah.
at people.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm gonna have to get a group of friends for this one, y'all.
Yeah. Now it's bigger and bigger. We're
You get
very
some
good at getting
stage
the ideas
ninjas.
out there.
Yeah,
We do-
stage ninjas to just follow you around.
We don't help in any way, shape, or form, but we will help the idea.
See, this is where you start to pull in the RFID stuff. This is where it starts to become the investment, right? You get a sensor
Right.
on your friends or whatever. It lights up with the color of the card that you drew, and oh yeah,
Mhm.
so many possibilities that are so ridiculous.
It's just the merging of cosplay and technology. You know, it's been a while, but it's been around for a while. I mean, people were in Gundam and they would make the noises when they were walking, right? But like, it's so much easier to do now, and
And
you can
affordable.
really
Oh,
get
affordable, yeah.
detailed. Yeah, you can
That's the
really
biggest
get
part.
into it. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
relatively affordable in comparison to the
Sure.
past.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
put it that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Compared
crazy.
to
I mean,
like
I
2012, yeah.
can remember, going to my first BlizzCon and seeing the costume contest there.
Right?
Some people
Yeah.
have like smoke and steam coming out of their outfits. I'm just
Right.
like, what the heck? Like what?
Yeah.
It's
Wings that, like,
it's like a
fold and
dad
open.
helping a kid
Yeah.
with math. Like it's like, when did they start adding letters to this? What?
I miss the old math.
Yeah.
Yeah, this when math was numbers and not
Back in
Greek
the day,
letters. What is
I could
this?
take an iron-on pattern on a white T-shirt, and that was a
Yeah.
fancy cosplay. And now it's just, whew.
So,
Step up your game. Hand bead everything.
oh boy,
Think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding.
yeah, some
Yeah, no,
some of them are
I
insane.
never said you weren't, for the record.
But yeah,
I mostly go to conventions to see the cosplays. They're really fun.
oh yeah. I was going to ask about, how much of this was in your background and how much of this you just kind of procured while you were doing it. Because, I also saw that you were a game dev and, had some history.
Oh yeah, so I went to school for computer science, and
Mhm.
I don't know how that went, but
what I
so
say,
yeah,
too.
I have a lot of like electrical engineering and just programming stuff on the background. But this stuff here, I started going to conventions in college, and I was like, I really like cosplaying. So coming up with like ways to just rig things together and
Mhm.
hopefully it works is just like stuff I like to do.
Lewis, I loved it
awesome.
earlier. I was like, I don't know anything about technology. And you were like, me neither. And then you're like, but I did go to
I
school
don't-
for it. And
For
I also
electrical
did all of that."
engineering.
No.
When I used to go to work, I was like, yo, what is this technology?
It's
like, how do you-
really That's really amazing, though, like bringing these two things together,
Right.
merging, I guess, that more creative element with
Mhm.
this more technological element. I'm curious, so, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, it has 4 slots? Is that right?
Yeah, so I could only use
Okay.
4 slots. I could
Mm-hmm.
technically have a 5th slot open, but I was
Okay.
like, I think there's only 4 party members, and I'm definitely not gonna run it down in a raid and be like,
Right.
all right,
Yeah,
y'all trying to
yeah.
do a savage with this controller setup.
Did you think about, like, that 5th slot? I mean, I guess you can map it to something else, like the Lord Lady or something like that. Like,
I was
I'm not
thinking
sure.
about making it for divination, or how do you pronounce it? The one where you can give the
Oh,
buff to the party. That would have been a
Mm.
cool idea,
yes,
but
yes, yes. So
I
with the
just didn't get around
4,
to it.
is there a, like, can you only use it in 4-man content then? Or have you tried or thought of other ways you could use it in something like 8-man or?
Yeah, I've done trials just fine. I just couldn't get the buffs to the other, I guess, outside of the 2 tanks and the 2 healers. So it still works. It's just like
Yeah.
I don't have it set to the DPS at all.
Mm.
So sorry, DPS.
You just need a second one, set it up kind of like
If you're ever in an 8-man
Yeah,
content with
yeah.
Lewis and you're wondering why you're not getting Astro buffs, it's because he's using the dual disc.
I was so
You know
glad if the random parties I ran with didn't know, but they were like, they did small pulls. Like they were like,
Yeah.
I think they were learning Dark Knight, and I was like, thank you.
Right.
I do not want to do big pulls right
They're
now.
like seeing the video
like,
on
don't say
YouTube
anything.
now. They're just like, whoa, that was, huh? I had no
You
No
can
wonder
idea.
I almost
make-
died.
You
Yeah.
set
think if
2
I
up,
knew-
I was gonna say, you set 2 up and you basically have like a dual disc keyboard that you're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it is. It's just it's a custom keyboard. You can technically plug
Yeah.
it into whatever you want. So if you want to play, I think I've been cursed to play Dark Souls with it at some point.
Oh,
I'm like,
boy.
I don't want to do this pack, but I have to.
Oh.
But yeah, it works with any other game too. So
Look, if you can play Dark
mean,
Souls with bananas, you can
yeah,
play it with a
yeah.
Yugioh dual disc.
Oh,
do I
man.
want to though? I don't know, man. Final Fantasy's so chill.
It doesn't matter if you
Right.
want to.
Just have
You
to show up.
can, and
Are you
therefore
sure?
should.
No, I
It
made
will
a
be
pact.
humane.
I can't leave.
Yeah. You're stuck now.
I'm stuck now. Yeah.
So, as an Astro main, what did you find was like the biggest adjustment between just doing your regular rotation and regular playing and then using the actual like dual disc to execute stuff?
The biggest thing for me was that remember when you used to first play video games, you had to look down to see what you were pressing.
Mhm.
That was me with
Yeah.
the cards. I was like, and then look up. Oh, Thancred's almost dead. Sorry, dude. Damage wise, it was fine because I still had a wireless keyboard on the side to just run through my heart bar just fine. It was just
Mhm.
when I pulled it out, I put a lot of attention on like, where does this card go? Hope nothing big's happening on the screen. Look back up, something is, and I have to keep doing that until I got used to it. So it took a night to get used to it, but
And
I
there's
guess I could use it in the
There's
future.
probably
Yeah.
a decent amount of like precision too you need to have to
Mhm.
make sure that you close that circuit too, right? With the card and the board.
Right.
Yeah, you have to put it in, and this thing is cheap. Like, it's like the cards don't fit in there sometimes, and I'm
I
like,
was gonna
well,
say you just like jam it in wrong,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
mangled.
Yeah.
Buff Thancred.
yeah,
I mean, I feel like it gives you a whole new immersive element to Astrologian,
Yeah.
like especially if you roleplay it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like this idea of like, oh god, I dropped the card. Hold on,
Yeah.
1 second, hold on.
it's like, oops, I have literally no cards left. Sorry, team, you're on your own. Like,
I can just imagine Urianger dropping his deck of cards.
That's adorable.
He's
Oh
like
no.
he's lifting up his skirt to try and
trying to
find
pull
it.
out cards.
He goes to
Yes.
like pull a card out of like the little like
Oh, yeah.
card quiver
Yeah.
thing. He's like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
have anybody left. Okay, everybody give me the cards back. I gotta reshuffle. Everybody.
Well, it's Urianger, so he'll have an extra somewhere. He'll just pull out an
Mhm.
extra deck. He'll just be like, no, I have this one too.
That skirt hides secrets. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Just like a garter with like a deck of cards strapped to it. Like,
Exactly.
Actual end game of Endwalker.
it's like a thigh holster, but instead of a gun, it's just a deck of cards.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Urianger in the Astrologian robe with a thigh, like a thigh holster, is maybe the best thing ever now, and I need to go write a fan fiction about this.
Like, all right,
immediately
artist.
That'll be
after.
that'll be
time.
part of the cosplay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's
Trying
where
to
you can
put
put the
them in there
batteries for
somewhere.
everything. You just
Ah. He got that glow up, and everybody started
Right?
thirsting,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that would just make it even better. I'm just saying. I'm
Mhm.
just saying.
What was the glow? Was it Shadowbringers, or did we see his face beforehand? It's been so long since I ran the old content.
We had
Oh,
him
yeah,
in,
yeah, yeah.
This is
in
okay.
Heaven's Word. We got his full face. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you had
Yep.
the not Urianger mask.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, that's definitely not Urianger, y'all.
No way.
Who is this person who talks in Old English? Who knows?
Everybody talks that way. Totally.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get the wrong person.
So I didn't find a thigh
Uh-huh.
holster because I went and looked to see if
Yeah.
it was Urianger thigh holster. But there
Yeah.
is one of him with the skirt doing like the Marilyn Monroe.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
you know.
Almost there.
Perfection. Great. I'm really glad we've given you so much material to work with when you do your Urianger cosplay with the dual disc controller.
So if we
you got a
can-
lot of material.
All we need to do is we need to get like a fan to strap down on your leg, and then when you like apply the thing, it like blows up.
That's what
Yeah,
the
on
last
command.
slot is for. It's a button
It's
to
a
make
button.
the skirt go woo.
There you go.
Why not?
I
We
feel
have
as though we've
so many
gotten
great ideas.
off topic.
I'm
but
writing them
yet-
all on the side.
Good, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
This is like off topic, but in a way that I would never have wanted to miss today. So I feel really
Yeah.
good about this.
See, I want to. It's slightly back onto topic, but it's
Mhm.
still slightly off topic. So, you were talking. I was hearing about future plans of other controller projects. So what else is in the future? I know there's one, and I want to talk about that one.
There's the dance one that I'm slightly almost done with.
Oh, nice.
I'm the unfortunate owner of an Xbox Connect, one of the few
I was
left in
wondering
the
if you were
world.
Okay,
using
yeah.
the Kinect. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I was like, this thing is actually really good. It is just super sad we could not figure out how to use it for games.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, that tracks motions. I just started dancing, I think that week when I put out the video, and I'm like, wait a minute,
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to dance, but I'm sure if we put some dance motions into the Kinect, we can actually use it
Mhm.
for 14. And I was like, well, I think that's the next project. So.
Nice.
And then after that, I do have a Ring Fit controller that I modded for other games, and I was like, I need to lose more weight. And if I'm going to sit there and grind 40 minutes a day, what if I combine the Ring Fit to play 14 with? Because 14
Hmm.
itself is super controller friendly.
Right.
And
Mhm.
what if I was like, all right, if I want to play the game, I have to squat or run around.
I mean, a
in
ring
real life.
fit's not unlike a dancer weapon.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I just threw my
Also
ring on at the
true.
screen.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure the
That'll
padded
end
part hits
well.
the monitor. You don't want the hard part hitting the.
Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff. I loved 14. I played it for a while, but I haven't got onto it until I think everyone like it just blew up on my timeline. I was like, wait,
Mm.
where's everybody coming from? And I was like,
Right.
oh, this game's really fun. I forgot how fun this game was. And I finished, I think, the last patch of last week, and I'm like, I am super looking forward to Endwalker. And then I was like, you know what? I think it'd be fun to make some controllers for this game. So that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. There are so many possibilities. I even see in chat saying like monk with some kind of power glove.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
sure.
I still have that
immediately-
around here.
I was thinking about some of like the monk motions where they like, hit their like hands together or different things, or like how you could deal with whatever
Mhm.
stacks or whatever ability. Like, that'd be
Donkey
really
Konga
fun.
Bongo Monk. There you go. You just punch the.
Yeah.
No, that would be Bard. You would just
Oh,
danger bongo.
Danger
I
Bongo.
get my Guitar Hero controller. It's probably somewhere in the closet.
Oh,
and play
yeah.
Bard with it or
Oh,
something.
There you go.
I guess you could do something with Bard where if you got like a mini harp or something, there's got to be electrical harps or digital
there's gotta
harps,
be. Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
you could do something, I'm sure, where you could adapt like the string you plucked to
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
correlate to something,
Right.
which would be really neat.
Write that down real quick. I'll put it on
As
the
you just
side.
quickly-
You can definitely see when I open up a tab on the right.
I think the hard ones for me would probably be tank. Like, what would you even do for
Oh,
that?
so-
Like,
Right now, I'm working on a Buster Sword controller for 7
Nice.
Remake. I was like, you know what? That's pretty much a Dark Knight, right? I think that'd be
Mhm.
really fun. The hardest part about the Buster Sword, it's like, what, 6 feet long? My
Yeah.
ceiling isn't that tall. So I have a big word that I'm going to try to swing it vertically, and it's going to hit the fan or
You
break
just gotta
it.
play on the floor. You just gotta sit down.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Because the idea
That's
was
cool.
using motion controls to like, because when I was a kid, we all pretended to be characters, and I was like, you know,
Mhm.
now that I'm an adult and I think I'm a little bit smarter, I think I could try to make that into reality and like have an actual Buster Sword that you swing around to attack in game and do stuff. So that could be fitted for 14
Mhm.
because I played a lot of Dark Knight at least before Astro. I don't think it'll be too bad.
yeah, I can see it working.
But what about Paladin? Do you just get a sword and shield and start flying around too?
Yeah.
Sword of sword.
That point.
Yeah, I mean, well. Wait, I have an idea.
Ooh,
I have an
okay, okay.
idea.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Rook.
What
Tab
about
open, tab open.
because Didn't they do with, was it the initial release of Skyward Sword where they had like the was it the Recons or
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
you know what
It
like
was
the
like the
Joy-Con
sword and
or the
shield. Yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
remember
Wiimote,
that.
you could use something with like a Wiimote maybe, and
Yeah.
like how you would slash with it or stuff like that to be like to correlate to the
Yeah.
different attacks or
Yeah.
like I don't know,
That
that'd be
could be
kind of
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take one of those totally unrealistic Captain America toy shields that like shoot discs and just like map it to like like shield lob.
Oh yeah, we could chuck the shield.
They I'm not sure if it was for no, it was an extra thing you added to the Wiimote to make the sword thing work for Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it was like
you
a-
got
it
the
was
special
Wiimote
edition
Plus.
one where it was included.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then you had the nunchuck, which I think you could set up for like shield things.
Yeah, it was
Probably.
it was a plastic, like a toy that you plugged
Controller,
it into.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
the,
was
the
like
Wiimote itself was used for the sword because you would have different
Mhm.
directional slashes, and then you would move
Yeah.
around with the nunchuck. But yeah, it had a little thing for Wiimote Plus, which was basically just more accurate tracking. And so then after that point, they just started building them into the Wiimotes that were coming out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I heard so many people didn't like that about Skyward Sword, but I loved it.
Yeah,
Mine
I'm
was
actually
fun.
I thought it was interesting. My problem was I felt like I had to recalibrate where the pointer was
Oh, yeah.
on the screen like every 10 seconds.
Mhm.
It was a fun
I-
game though.
Didn't even play it. Like to work in motion capture, I never even owned a Wii or a Wii U. Like
Wow.
it's weird. Or a Kinect. I brought in the Kinect for like a school project,
Mhm.
and I was working on it on the PC, and I was like, "Cool, I got it working." And I looked at my 360, and it red ring. Like that was the day that it red ring. It was like, I don't want to do
Well,
a Kinect.
It's like
Yeah.
I see. You're gonna use this on the PC instead. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
I got an Xbox One Connect for like $15 from a Penny Arcade garage
Ooh.
sale.
Ooh, nice.
Like if you went to
Those
like the
are
free
really
play booth
good.
at PAX,
Yeah.
I got
Mhm.
one of those for like $15.
Nice.
Okay, I have an idea here
Okay.
for Reaper coming out. So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Okay,
want
okay.
everybody because with Reaper you have this like demonic entity or void scent.
Mhm.
So I would like to proposition that you get a Furby, and
Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
then you like spray paint it black. Then
I
use
mean, they
that.
make black Furbies. Why do you have to spray paint?
You have to
it?
Well,
commit
the
to the
hardest
joke.
part is how can I keep a Furby in like eyesight distance of me? I don't like that.
No, that's too scary.
It's just
No,
so
I agree.
Keep it behind you.
And that is the
Oh, yeah.
immersive experience of
Sure.
Reaper. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Or
You have to
get one
pet
of
it
those
to do the
you
attack.
get one of those ghosts you hang up in the trees for Halloween, where like if somebody like pokes it, it goes woo. Like that's the yeah
The Reaper class.
yeah.
I mean, some of them are motion sensitive.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. All right. Well, I'm curious. So, with all the future possibilities that you have, obviously there's a ton of things that you can keep doing. But I'm curious from this particular project, what do you think worked better than you even thought? What do you think, if you were to do a different version of this in the future, you'd even want to improve on? Are there things that have kind of crossed your mind with that?
Okay, the best thing was the slots working on 14 with the macros just fine. I was worried that like there might be some latency issues, so when I put it down, it might still take a second or two. Perfectly fine. If I wanted to do this again, I would actually 3D print out the dual disc because it's too thin to even fit the Arduino or like the boards itself into it. So I would print out one that's large enough to where I can just have it open halfway, put all the stuff in there, and then close it. So it looks even better than like you don't want to look on the underside of that. It is duct tape and wiring. Like, it is definitely top part
Hey,
for
if
the
it
commercials.
works,
Yeah, it works. Yeah. When I worked in video games, we're like every time we ship a game, we're like, don't look inside. As long as it works, as long as it ships, we did it, y'all. But yeah, if I were to come back to it, I would definitely go the RFID route and make it like and try to make it to where it can detect what card you actually pulled out. Maybe have something on screen and look at the part of the screen that has the logo show up, and then tell like, oh hey, that's the fire one or whatever the classes are. I keep forgetting, but that'd be something I would do. But I'm surprised it just worked in general. So
well,
I'm also surprised the party members didn't know. Like the best thing is no one knew outside of the stream.
Right.
So I'm like, yeah, as long as they can't tell that there's a difference, we're good.
Yeah,
that's,
'Cause I don't
that's
want
the
to
key.
ruin somebody else's experience
Yeah.
for fun. Yeah.
How much, like, at the end of the day, I mean, I know some of the stuff you had lying around. What was like do you have like an estimated like cost for this project?
Not including the Yugioh duel disc because I don't know what those cost anymore. But this was probably the board itself was $30, so probably a $45 build. It's actually not that expensive,
Okay.
and I already have most of the wiring stuff on my side
Sure.
from past projects. So
Right.
That's very cool.
yeah,
And
it's
I
actually
know,
really cheap.
Chat's mentioned a few things too.
Mhm.
Ghost of Tsushima controller and stuff. What are some of the other less edible controllers that you've worked on?
I was gonna say anything's edible if you try hard enough. But that's not what I wanted to say. The katana controller is still one of my favorites because one, I like goofy stuff that like never worked out, but it was a cool idea.
Right.
I have to look back there. I know I have more. I still have the bongos; those were really fun. I do have the Metroid Prime's arm cannon that's like halfway done, where like you can play Metroid Prime like actually pointing to the screen like a Wiimote
That's
and
nice.
play it. But that's taking a lot of work. I have the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller. That is
nice. I
sneakiest thing
remember
I've
that
ever seen.
abomination of a thing.
Yes.
It was so weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
like, who is this made for? Like, I can't even fit my hands there.
Right.
And yeah, I do want some of the some controls I still want is I think Final Fantasy X-2, the gun controller. I don't know if you've
Oh,
ever
yeah.
seen that. I was
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
really
yeah.
want that for
Yeah.
it's really
It's
cool.
a
I was
set
like,
of,
why?
it's a set of guns. I think there was like a mini game, like a Lycon mini game you could play with them or something like that.
I think you play the
There's
character.
Machinist.
Oh
There
yeah,
you
we
go.
Love
can,
it.
oh yeah. Well, we got to be careful of that. We have to make sure to have a big text that says this is not a real gun.
Yeah.
This is-
I definitely have Ninja Assault. It's a very
Yeah.
old game that was mostly in arcades, and it's a
Mhm.
light gun, and it's orange. So
Ooh.
if you got
Okay,
something
you'll
like
be fine.
that.
You can dye guns orange in Final Fantasy
Yeah.
XIV. It's not inaccurate.
Now I have to build a whole robot, so whenever I call it out, it has to call in real life.
There you
Come
go.
on to
Rob the
this.
robot. There you go.
Just have just
That-
build like a secret room. The bookshelf slides open, his giant neck just comes out.
Or I could just
I
like
can-
mod a Roomba. And have that
I can
come
help
out
you
on
with
screen.
this.
You could
Yeah.
double up,
can't-
use the Furby for that and Reaper.
Oh.
And if you can't get an actual robot to work to be the Rook Queen or the Rook
Mhm.
Auto Turret, I volunteer my services.
Oh, I see.
I'll just walk out with like robot face paint.
I'm just imagining like Rook in like this like the cheap like cardboard robot
Mhm.
like costume.
Beep, boop.
Comes out, just punches the wall, walks away.
Get a really small model of it and have a compartment in the back of the gun. So when the robot is out, it just pops up, and then when it's done, it goes back in.
It's R2D2 on the X-Wing. Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah.
So I could just have a really big button that just calls like a really huge button for no reason. I can slam down.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and when you play Summoner, you'll have to make a book controller. That would be hard. But definitely for the pet,
That
you
could be
just
fun.
cover some sort of animal in conductive paint, and you try and corral it into the right circuit, right? They're just
PETA is
along the
gonna
wall.
be all
That's what
over
it's
the
like
ass
already.
now for
I'm
that.
So that'll be-
sure nothing bad could happen from that stream. And I announced my retirement from content creating.
We get like one of those little dogs with like the wheels
The
on the
remote-
bottom, or maybe
yeah.
the ones that hop. And you paint it blue and give it some fluffy tails, and then just have a car bomb.
I think sages use guns too, right? Or they're not a gun. Is it a
Right.
The
Lith.
new
The
lift.
new
The
list.
Oh,
little
there you go, yeah.
Floaty
Laser
things.
crystals.
They're
Yeah.
tubes.
That one where you need just like something in like a candlestick. You just like stick it in
Oh.
there and then it activates a spell or something. I don't know how
Juggling
you
candlesticks. There you go.
No, you just have the one.
Candlesticks.
You get like the like it holds multiple candles, and you just I don't know.
A candelabra.
Is
Yeah.
there, yeah,
like-
yeah, candelabra.
You like pool noodles and just
Oh,
put
and just start.
put in the end.
Noodle lifts. Yeah.
Noodle lifts.
Noodles.
Oh my goodness.
One
If,
idea I
if
had.
Final Fantasy
Uh-huh.
XIV was like a unit-based gacha game, that would be the summer variant for Alphino. With pool noodles.
Sorry,
versus
please.
Well,
noodles.
yeah.
Please go ahead, Lewis. You had one idea
No,
that
it's
you
fine.
had.
Well, I've always wanted to see people try to cook things as a culinarist, but use the actual like raw materials. So you have to get like a rock salt,
Yeah.
just like a piece of steak, and throw it in a pot and see what happens. But I feel like I would need a better kitchen, and I don't want to get people upset at me blowing up the kitchen.
See, that's the Final Fantasy cookbook comparison that we really need. Okay,
Yeah.
you want us to add all this fancy stuff, but in game it's just like meat and rock salt. Well, let's see which one
All
comes
right, I'll
out
do it.
better.
Throw some ice
They-
cubes in there.
Did they release some kind of special edition of Cooking Mama where you have like fake cooking things, like a
There
little
you go.
knife?
Oh, what about those like old plastic children's toy that are like the
Yeah.
fake cooking things and like wire it up to actually cooking
you
game?
go.
Do the
I was thinking,
way-
yep.
All of this is way too adorable.
yeah.
It's like,
The real feat would be to get like 8 people together to clear an extreme primal or something using all of these
That'd be fun.
controllers and setups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back to Reaper though, Halloween is just around the corner, so make sure you pick up like a plastic scythe, just in
Just
case.
like a overly sized scythe.
Yeah, just in case. You know?
Yeah, we'll figure it. I'll look into it.
Yeah,
I'll probably
I'm
be
sure
grinding
if he,
out
I'm sure if he
Walker.
already doesn't have room
Yeah.
for this 6-foot Buster sword, that a scythe will
You
totally
could get like the child
That'll
size
fit
one.
there. It'll fit there.
Yeah,
The
Child's
child's
one.
Reaper with this
Mhm.
little scythe.
yeah.
just so tiny.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, Lewis,
Technically,
you
it's
have
a
done...
Lalafell scythe. It just doesn't
Yeah,
scale.
okay,
to
yeah,
it.
there we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, Lewis, you've done, I mean, obviously, a variety of these, and you even mentioned that, before the Astrologian one, before you did this with the, card loader, you had done, Dark Souls, you had done previous ones. What was your very first build? Was it one of those, or...
Oh, yeah.
That's a good question. How old am I? How long has it been? How
Don't
many
think about
years
that.
has it been?
Yeah, what year is it?
Yeah, what years? What was my first ever build? That's a really good question. All right, through the power of YouTube, let me see. 'Cause I literally,
Scroll all the way down.
While you're thinking about that one, I also wanted to ask what your favorite one and what your weirdest one were. So
I still think the katana control for Ghost of Tsushima is still my favorite because
Okay.
it's just really fun to sheath and unsheath to do the standoffs and like swing a plastic controller
what was
around.
the base for that? I know somebody had a katana controller for something, but I can't remember what game.
Yeah, it was like a really old PS2 game called like Onimushu 3. I've never played it. I just heard
was
of the
it Onimusha?
controller.
Okay.
Yeah. And that the idea was you did the motion swinging and stuff to play, but that was
Sure.
PlayStation 2 motion controls, and they like kind of faked it. They had a weight in there, so when it like swung around, it would move back and forth and press a button for you. So I was like, that's kind of really smart, especially when like we didn't know how motion controls were way back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still looking through.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I look so young. What happened to me? What happened to me?
Time.
The pandemic. We've
Yeah.
all aged
it all was over just the
5
past
years
year.
in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really
Don't worry,
Kingdom
it'll
Hearts
go
on the
away.
dance pad? Is it really that?
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Is either that or Ocarina of Time? I don't know.
You could adapt. It's for one single phase, which does feel
Mhm.
like a bummer.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the DDR and Suzaku. That would be
fun.
fun.
That would actually be kind of fun.
See, there's so many things you could do with Dancer, right?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
have the GDR mat. You just map that to like the directions, and then you have the ring fit, and then you have the
Mhm.
connect. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a whole.
I'm just gonna say, dancer abilities come in fours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to remember how to dance, and that's going to be the hardest part of the
Right.
build.
The DDR pad is just the modifiers. So when you step on up, it's a modifier for every other controller. So you have to remember the steps.
The problem
Oh,
is
no.
it
I
is
mean-
very physical, so you can only test it for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is kind of amazing because with games like Just Dance, right, that are more specifically recognizing things like
Mhm.
actual
Sure.
dance poses, and with the dancer animations being, I love the fact that you are going the route of trying to mess with, it was the Kinect, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I think that is just so smart.
Yeah, I want to
And
try to make it as close as possible as
Yes.
how humanly possible for myself to do.
Right.
'Cause I saw how they move. I was like, no, my back's not. No,
You can't,
that's not happening.
like,
You know,
do the.
I can do that, but when they go like backwards, like, I can't do
Do
that.
like a this thing at
Yeah.
some point.
Well, the Kinect can connect, or Kinect can connect that. Kinect can detect that
Mm-hmm.
just fine. So like, it's just user problems on my end. Like, I can't put my back like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's the
you
dilemma
can,
for
but then
that
you
one.
wouldn't be able to do any other movement.
yeah. It's funny because we were talking about Monk, and then I remembered I think I played it on Nintendo Switch, but the boxing game that they
Mhm.
have,
Yeah.
where like
Mhm.
you're using, I mean, again, I think that sense of
That'd be
momentum with,
fun.
you can
Yeah.
do something like that with Monk too, which would be interesting. Maybe like the matching the animations to some degree with that might be kind of cool.
There's
Oh yeah, I
also,
do have a Wii boxing glove controller because I used
There
it
you
for
go. Oh, there you go.
Doomfizz way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
To map
gosh.
like I came so close to punching my monitor every time. And I'm like, it's so scary, but I know the Wiimote can do that pretty good. So
Mhm.
Here's
It's
a
like
dumb
strap a
idea.
Wiimote to every limb. There you
Oh,
go.
there we go. Yeah.
I mean, I
So-
used to use.
Mhm.
Oh,
You
I
could
was gonna
do-
say.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say, to confirm, the earliest one that you could find was DDR with Kingdom Hearts.
It's either
Those-
that or Ocarina of Time. And I remember
Oh.
Kingdom Hearts because I was sweating because that game is a button masher, and I didn't know until it was too late.
Oh
was
no,
like, I
you're committed.
It was fun though. That was a old build.
So if you're making the Kinect controller work with
Mhm.
the poses of the dance, you could theoretically make different sets. So if you like wanted to be disco dancer, you could just change the poses.
Yep. I mean, I have dab to activate the what are the steps called? Whatever the thing is. And I was
Mhm.
like, all right, I gotta put one joke in here. Then you can
Yeah.
start doing the dash motions like that. But any pose works.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
how do you behind the scenes then? And I don't know any of the language, and I'm sure Aldio will, since you work in mocap and the idea of this, right? How are you taking like what the Kinect sees and then making it register specific poses? Like, how do you translate that for a dancer?
Yeah, there's a user, I guess, UI program that lets you map your own like movements to keyboard inputs, and that's what I used. It was really cool. I gotta find what it's. I think it's called FAST, FAAST, and it's like a user-based thing where you don't have to do the program. I've done the programming before, but that's a lot of work. But this one makes it
I
really
was gonna
easier.
say,
So you
being
can
only a little technical, that doesn't sound too hard.
Yeah, no, this is not it. The hardest
Yeah.
part is having a Kinect.
Yeah.
You could go to a used game store and get one for like
Yeah.
$1.50. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's not technically too hard. Just got to figure out like got to make sure like the way I have one pose is like two hands have to be certain distance from each other
Mhm.
to make sure it's not accidentally activating something. For dab, I was like make sure my elbow is a certain distance from my face because technically that's a dab, and make sure the other hand is doing something else.
Mhm.
It's like it's still some logic, but it's not as hard as a lot of people try to ask me for. I'm like, no, I
Right.
just use a program. That's there's smarter people than me to do this.
Yeah. No, you all just use the tool.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool to get into the Kinect,
Mhm.
just in general, because like you said before, there's so much that it could have
Yeah,
done.
there's so much.
But like in a game, it's just hard to do it. Like,
Yeah,
It
it's
really
like
is.
user error because like when I was
Yeah.
in college, yeah, we worked on some just for fun, just
Yeah.
to get into software. I'm like, but how do you tell a user to make sure you do a dab in this specific condition? Like, just dance makes sense because you're doing the dance move, and you can have a room of error just fine
Yeah.
because those moves are like predefined. But like,
Mhm.
so if I made a Dark Souls mod for the Kinect, and to do a roll, you need to make sure your chest moves forward and down at a certain angle. And I
Mhm.
wouldn't be able to tell someone to do that. So like
Right.
now I understand why games couldn't really use the Kinect to the fullest.
Right, it's
hard
very
with
specific.
Yeah,
Just very
you need
yeah.
to have that such a big range.
Mhm.
You have to program each one of those
Yeah.
kind of
There's
And
so
is
many-
it
fluctuations or whatever.
yeah, it's like how do you convince somebody from not using just their gamepad over a Kinect?
Right.
Yeah. And Just Dance works fine because you don't really need a gamepad to do
Mhm.
that. So
But when
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm going to play Ace Combat or something,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
want you to keep your hands a certain distance apart
Oh.
the whole time, like that's never going to happen,
I did make a Kinect mod for Ace Combat.
right? Like
yeah.
it's hard to do.
Yeah, it's like I think you T-pose the fly and play like a kid, and I was like, this. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie, it was really fun.
I think the best uses of Kinect I've seen was the one guy that got fouled while playing an NBA game for swearing.
Oh,
The Kinect heard it
Mhm.
and like
And
fouled
then
him for
gave
bad
him-
language.
yeah.
And then there was the other
That's
one.
cool.
This guy walked
Yeah.
in on his roommate playing Skyrim, and he told it to like he was in like a town. He goes
Mhm.
Xbox attack, and then he just like swung at a villager, and then he goes Xbox save, and it saved the game.
Yeah.
So like the whole village was like after him.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking of stuff
Mhm.
you could turn into controllers, Charles and I recently were a little bit nerdy in a different department and got Harry Potter ones.
Ooh.
And they
Those
have this,
Bluetooth, I think, already in them. Maybe.
I think it's infrared.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
have a reflector at the end.
And they have like places around the park where you point the wand that has the little sensor doodle or reflector doodle in it, and you move it in a certain shape, and then
Yeah.
something happens
Oh,
because
okay.
it certain like reflector points. So you could like set up different. I'm thinking red mage for this, right?
Right.
So you have
Oh,
you
okay,
have
okay,
the thing,
yeah,
the sword, and then for anything you need buttons for, you could have the focus.
Ooh. How do you
Yeah.
put the backflip in though? Do you have to backflip
You
in
have
real
the back-
life?
That's a button.
gotta
You put a
Okay.
gyro
Gotta
in whatever the focus is. You just like catch it.
Oh yeah, how do we do a Dragoon controller, y'all?
You you do it so that anytime you lay down, your character
Yeah, I was waiting
immediately
for
dies.
something like that.
I was waiting
yeah.
for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
You
You
know.
just, you just
probably
lay it on the
use the
floor and
same
walk
thing.
away. You just
Yeah.
I actually really like Miki's suggestion in chat, which is to put a trampoline under
Oh,
it.
I do have a trampoline. Yeah, I was gonna say I could
There
detect
you go.
jumping really easily.
You could detect like, I don't know, height of jump or something, maybe, or
Sure.
Sorry, downstairs neighbors. I'm playing
Yeah.
14 today.
I feel like you could do the same thing with like a lance though.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah,
yeah,
that's
like-
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
For
Cosplay
activating
controls would be
certain
cool.
things, you just do a certain motion, or
Mhm.
and then like for certain attacks, you just spin it a certain way or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
combining
Or, like,
cosplay
weight in
controls would be. You know, I'm about to write that down. So I was like, that.
Okay,
sounds
Lewis. So
really
when
cool.
the tours start doing Halloween, you need to get a scythe, some kind of a
Yeah.
lance.
Tell the cashier it's not what it looks like. I promise. I'm making
You can-
controllers.
I'm
for
using
14.
these for video games. I would prefer if
just
it
be
was
what-
what it looks like.
You can be what Fusion has always wanted to be. You could be a dragoon with a mop or a broom.
Yeah.
Right? You can just use a mop or a broom.
That way, when I die, I can also just clean myself up
Oh,
off
yeah.
the floor.
No, you're always asking for the joke weapons, and we never get them.
We never get
That's
them.
how
dude.
you make your own joke weapon.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
It'd
the
be
first class I ever did. And I was like, oh, I understand the memes now.
Right.
Lewis, what advice would you give to people who might want to try to start doing builds like this too? Is there a starting point? Would you say, you know, hey, well, you should probably study something about electrical engineering before this? Would you say, like, these are resources that really helped me? Or
Yeah.
what would you sort of suggest?
There is a thing that I use called Makey Makey. Is what they help teach kids how to do it, and that's what I use for my build. It's really nice. It teaches you how to just do stuff like this. Like even though I have experience, like the stuff I'm doing, I would never be like, hey, if you want to do it, do it. If it looks bad, that's just how it's going to be, and enjoy it. Like never, like when I first got, like, is how I got into cosplay. My first cosplays were garbage, but I had fun doing it, and that's how I feel about builds like this. It's like, hey, even if it looks bad, be proud that you did something. And like this takes work and creativity, and that's really cool. And if you, like I said, if you want to get started, check out Makey Makey. Do this stuff for kids who want to learn how to do it too.
Yeah, there's
And
a
it's,
lot
like,
of
really
cool
simple.
like young engineering kind of like things out there. I know one YouTuber I've watched a lot of, Mark Rober, does a lot of
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I think he's got his own like class too, where he helps kids, like people that want to get into engineering, like build things and
Yeah.
conceptualize stuff. And
Yeah, if y'all ever need help, send me a message. I'm super down to help anyone make mistakes. So.
Yeah, there's, I would also recommend watching the Humble Bundle, because
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
they have a pack of books about making things, and they're
Mhm.
easy to go through. Anything you might want.
I mean, and you can even start like, I mean, I remember, you could do something as simple as just, remapping like a controller or something,
Yeah.
just to kind of get into it. I used to play 11 with a Wiimote and a nunchuck.
Yep.
It wasn't the
Nice.
easiest thing in the world, but I could.
But you had to do it. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
did.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, my other big advice is it's a lot easier than it looks. It's a little scary at first, and don't electrocute yourself, but I don't think you'll be working with stuff that can
Yeah.
do that to you.
It's easy.
but-
Just don't electrocute yourself.
just don't hurt yourself. But no, that's one of the scary. Like when I got into game development, it was so, like, I thought it was super hard. Well, it is hard, but I thought it was super scary, and I was like, I'm never gonna learn this. And I did it, and I was like, oh, this isn't as bad as it is. So
You just
Yeah.
gotta,
As
you
always.
just gotta do it. You just gotta give
you just
it a
gotta
shot.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's each individual step. You figure out, okay, how do I make it just do something?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's build on that. It's just brick by brick, just like programming. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean,
Even if
especially
it
with-
does the wrong thing, it's
Even-
still
yeah.
doing
Yeah, it's so
something.
cool.
still
Yeah.
doing something. I mean, and the great thing too is with 14, with macros. I mean, there's so much you can do with macros.
Yeah.
All you need to do is make a macro, stick it on a hotbar, map it to a command. That's it. Like you got
Yep.
it done. Like
Mhm.
So you said you didn't have any issues with the macros themselves?
No, it was pretty good. I was like, and I still use those macros when I play Astra without the controller because, like I said, I don't like tabbing through everybody. I could just press the, I guess, numpad that they're assigned to, and it works just fine. So
Mhm.
That's good. I I have not used macros pretty much ever because I know initially they were really pretty janky.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that they at
They
least
can
work for
work,
some
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
or maybe have improved over time.
Yeah, definitely, especially for like OG CDs. I mean, it's weird. Like you might not be able to double weave, but who cares at that point? It's 14. It's comfy. It's fine.
Yeah, we're here chilling, having fun.
Yeah.
What do you mean using an actual physical dual disc to play Astrologian isn't optimal?
Not the optimal one.
Yeah, I'm scared
Have
if I do
you-
the Dark Knight. What's up? Sorry.
Oh no, you're
Also,
fine.
I'm scared to do Dark Knight. If I do finish up Buster's Sword, I'm actually
Yeah.
not going to be able to keep up. It's like, sorry guys, my arms are literally tired. I cannot keep up the immunity anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
you build up that stamina with Dancer, and then you go into
Oh
Dark
yeah,
Knight.
yeah. The work... All right, I'm announcing my workout program. Lose weight with 14.
Excellent.
So obviously you got interested in this, you started working on it, and had personal interest in this kind of thing that led you to it and brought together that technological element and like cosplay and all of that. But what made you want to take the leap to turning that into content creation?
Just I did it on the side for fun. I was just like, people are like, hey, this is cool, you should put up on YouTube and stuff. And I'm like, sure. What's the worst that can happen?
Mhm.
It's usually a lot of lines. That's what I usually say. It's like, what's the worst that can happen? So I just do it now because it's really fun to do, and people seem to like it. So,
Mm.
and
other
like I
nerds
said, if
will
I can
bother
convert
you.
people to convert
Yeah.
to do this on their own, that'd be kind of
Right.
cool. Because that'd be really fun to, like you said, 8-man raid with weird controllers just for fun to see if it's possible.
Gosh, I can just
Um,
imagine like getting together with like a room full of people, like
Yeah.
set up and just like doing a raid. It's like, okay, we'll give you the you get the bananas,
All right,
you'll get the samurai
drums.
controller, you get the bongos, and let's go clear E12S. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh, that's
Of
like
course.
taking what we were doing for our anniversary show to the next level.
Yep.
We were like, minimum eye level, no
Oh,
clothes,
yeah.
let's go. But also use a banana.
Yeah, first we got to clear. They'll actually make Praetorium pretty fun. I feel like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
yeah, we got to do this
yeah.
thing. Let's just do it with weird controllers.
That
Just
would be
imagining
super fun.
like a row of bananas now with just like hotbar numbers on them.
Is
The
that your
worst thing
weirdest
about-
one, by the
Yeah, I
way?
was gonna say people don't know that bananas leak when you press them more than like 6 or so. Yeah, I'm so sorry, everybody. I should have said something about it earlier. But
Everybody
bananas
was
are
like, the
kind-
banana was like the perfect fruit, and now that image is ruined for me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I
No.
love bananas still, but
Mm-mm.
they are not the most efficient controllers to use. They're edible though, so if you ever feel bad or if you ever need energy, you can just
Once they
Eat your
start leaking,
W
you
cake.
just
I'm
you
done
eat it and you
playing
replace it with
on-
a fresh one. And
yeah.
It's
They're
like
really
when you would
cheap,
break
right?
a controller. Yeah.
Yeah, bananas
Don't
are
break
cheap,
it, just eat it.
So when you're mad, you just eat
Yeah,
them.
you just eat the controller.
slam
you go to
banana.
you donate it to the local food pantry, and they go, "Why are they
Mhm.
leaking? Don't worry about it.
They're still
They're
edible.
fine. They're perfectly edible."
Now, you said that you had just been, was it you were getting into fishing in game?
Yeah, I don't know
Have
who tricked
you-
me into it, but I'm super psyched into it right now.
Have you thought about doing a fishing pole?
I'll just literally sit there on my camera and wait till. I actually still have my Bass Pro fishing rod
Oh,
controller.
there you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that'd be really easy, right? Just sit there, I guess, do that whenever, reel it in when you find a catch or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I could make sitting in the same spot for 30 minutes, hoping I get the right fish for the leap quest.
See, and that's it. That's the stream. You green screen in the like an ocean or something, and you just
Fish your
have the
cap
actual
and-
pole there.
You are.
Yep, have a couple of beers, you know.
Oh
There you
yeah, call it Fishing with Lewis, and we just kind of sit there.
But you have to
and
stream.
talk
You
about-
have to stream at like 5 a.m. though to make it really.
Oh,
authentic.
yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
Oh god.
Still have like the bags under my eyes.
Yeah. There you go.
get a life vest on and just be like, yep,
Mhm.
here we are again.
Trying to think, is there any job we didn't talk about?
I'm sure there's plenty.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Ninja.
Ninja.
But you
Mhm.
could do something fun playing off of the dancer one,
Sure.
where you could actually do something with the mudras or the hand
Oh
gestures.
gosh.
Oh,
Talking about how
Oh,
hard it is to
yeah.
get things
That might-
just right. Like
I'm sure we can figure something out.
you gotta
Yeah,
do like the Doctor
might-
Strange or like
Yeah.
Naruto.
Yeah. Finger are the worst though.
Yeah.
Like it's just they're just too small.
And yeah, they're
Yeah.
too close to each other too. So like
Yeah, so you often get the wrong, finger motion. You're like, okay, you moved your, and then it'll just bend back and freak
What
out.
if
we
what
you
if
could,
Uh-huh.
what's it?
the sensors are in the gloves themselves? It's like a strip. And then
Yeah, I was gonna
it-
say flex sensors are a thing.
Yeah.
I have a couple for the power glove. So you technically, I guess I don't recommend hot gluing it onto your finger, but maybe
Yeah.
wear a glove and then hot glue it
Yeah.
onto your fingers, and then like test the flex strength.
Yeah, that's actually
That could be cool.
what's used in the industry now because optical
Mhm.
mocap sucks for fingers.
Yeah.
Like it's just really hard. You can't.
It's just
It doesn't work.
Okay,
What
yeah,
else? Who
so
else did we
order
forget?
16 flex sensors for the day.
There we go.
Order gloves
Flex
first. So you don't hot
sensors,
glue it
mini
onto your
scythe,
fingers.
mini
Mini
lens.
scythe.
Yeah.
Black Mage. We forgot Black,
Black
Mage.
Mage.
Mm.
Have to
Actually,
stand
just
still.
fire. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
draw ley lines in my apartment and then
Yeah.
never move.
That would be amazing.
It's just a modified DDR pad, except it looks like ley lines and you
Oh,
touch
yeah.
different parts.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, that would
Dance
be a
within
tough
your
one.
ley line.
That would be
Because,
tough.
I mean, what do you really do with? I mean, Black Mage is so stationary, and you have, I guess, the staff. So,
Mhm.
like, you could do something with the staff itself, but I'm
You
trying to
really,
think.
for
how
ice
really, you
you
cubes,
just you
do
what's
take
my
that
rotation?
katana controller and you just
Yeah.
shove it into whatever you need to, and there you go.
I was
Put
like,
a blade
okay,
on
so
it,
these
now it's a
fire.
scythe. Put a pointy tip on it,
Yeah.
now it's a pole arm.
Gunbreaker.
I guess you
A
could do
gun.
something with like the fire and ice thing, where like
Yeah, I
maybe
was like, throw
there
ice
was,
cubes
like-
at something to refresh my mana.
Yeah.
Yeah,
what would be for
get some kind of
Gunbreaker?
digital thermometer. You know,
Ooh,
if it's
Gunbreaker.
above.
Well, I have made a controller on ice cubes because I was sadly dared to beat Dark Souls before my ice cubes melt, and that was the worst thing I've ever done in my entire existence. Because I didn't wear gloves like a dummy.
Oh,
I was like, I can endure ice, right?
Your fingers. Your fingers.
not that
No.
cold. It is that cold.
Yeah, I was like, Gunbreaker. A gun?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as Machinist, right? Or a Machinist. And
You definitely like if you can get one that has some sort of sensor. You can get a sensor for reload. I think that would be cool,
it's
right?
like an oversized
Yeah.
6-shooter, like a
Yeah.
comically large 6-shooter.
Yeah.
You could do something with the cartridges.
Oh,
Like, because
yeah.
there would be a sword that would have the cartridges, so you could do
There is
something
that
with those.
macro that when you fire one, like for the 3, when you fire one, it automatically goes to the second, and then you could have the trigger do that, and then there's
Yeah.
a couple other ones that use cartridges, and maybe just have like a different butt.
Get one of those gun controllers that also has a full size controller on it, so you're like two-handing a gun.
there you go.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, there's got to be more classes.
I'm trying to think
I
of like
promise I'll
just the
play this
most
game.
like stupid, obscure things.
Yeah, same.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's
there's
good.
a lot of potential builds, and I'm gonna have fun trying to figure them out because at 14's fun. Like
Yeah.
I'm sucked. Like I'm leveling up a fisher, y'all. I'm sucked.
Right.
I've committed everybody.
Blue Mage with one of those singing bass.
Oh yeah, Blue Mage would
the
be.
little basketball.
Yeah.
That would be
I've always
so
wanted one.
funny.
I wish that was an item in games that was replacement for the boombox or the jukebox.
Mhm.
It's just a singing
Why
bass.
don't
Right.
we have a singing fish? Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
Oh
You heard us, Square Enix. Come on, where is it?
I will pay lots of gil in game for that, or real money.
We're gonna sit
depending
down
on
with
what needs-
Yoshida. What would you like to ask me about Endwalker? Hey, can we get like a singing fish furniture item?
It would be fun too if you had, because there are so many different like plushies of the iconic Final Fantasy,
Mhm.
characters and
Mhm.
monsters. It'd be fun if you had almost like all of them lined up, and then when you wanted to use that monster's ability,
Oh,
you like grab it
yeah.
and squeeze it, and then like grab the other
I have a
one.
fat cat somewhere in my other room.
I mean,
I
I've
have to use it
got
for
a
something.
Marlboro and a Mandy right here.
There you Just get all of them. There you
I
go.
have the super big fat cat. Just mod it to where if you want to get on my fat cat mount, I just sit on the fat cat.
There you go.
I guess for Black Mage, you could get a little abstract with it and do something like some kind of voice command, like kind of how like you would, like call out
yeah,
an
yeah.
like, arcane spell or something.
Yeah.
You could have like casting.
Fire.
Yell healers adjust
Fire
every time I'm
five.
in my.
But you could give them fancier names than Fire 5.
No, I'm saying Fire 5.
Yeah.
Blizzard 3.
That's what the Charlayan Studium has decreed. You know, fire. Now we're just henceforth they are called Cure 1, Cure 2, Cure 3.
Firefight. Yeah,
That's one of my favorite books in the library.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
You could map them all to lines from oh my gosh, hold on. The meme that everybody always makes, which is the explosion that's from the
what's the
anime that is. Hold on, my brain is completely shorting now. Somebody else has this anime. It's a satire. It's like a satire comedy. There's a character who is basically a black mage. She does these long, dramatic monologues that are all improvised by the voice actress when she's trying. It's like she's essentially a black mage who decided to not put any points into the leveling abilities. Only
Konosuba.
Is it Konosuba? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it
Konosuba.
Konosuba?
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad somebody knew because I'm like, I have no idea.
I'm like,
I
I
had to look. I was
remember.
like, it's not Madoka Magic. It's like
No,
Konosuba,
it's so
yeah.
good. And if you haven't, even if you're not into that like humor, if you haven't seen the like improvised short monologues she does for her explosion ability, you have to. They are so funny. You could map the different black mage abilities
Lines.
to voice lines from like, or you could like have to say those lines because some of them are so funny. She's like, from the infernal hells I summon thee, the great pit of darkness, call forth thunder and fire. Like, it's so good.
No, what about what's that free trial meme? What if we just map? I have to say that
That's
every
what
time
I
I
thought
need
she
to
was
cast.
talking about. I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about the free trial.
Critically
I mean, like-
acclaimed Fire 2.
Black mages got those long cast times. I think you could
You do?
time
Yeah. Oh,
it
I could.
where it would be like you could
Every
have
sentence of the meme
lines.
is.
Oh my gosh. You say the
And
whole
yes,
thing,
it's
it's just the
Megan.
rotation. It just goes
Ah,
right
Megan,
through.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be too hard. Now that begs the question: would there be controller challenge runs of 14?
Definitely.
I mean, I
Could
don't
you
know
beat
why there
14
wouldn't
on
be
a
at this
dance
point.
pad? Like the entire. From...
Can you
I
beat
think-
14?
Yeah.
Can you really? I don't think.
I mean, you could probably do most of the non-extreme primals on a weird, you know. I mean, you've done a lot of the stuff in dungeons, so yeah.
I
I
guess.
think you could probably do it all.
Would constitute just beating 5.4, just getting to that point.
Yeah.
Oh, that takes so. Well, it could be fun.
Do you feel like with a lot of these controllers, especially the ones that I think thematically are kind of made to fit, right? So, you know, things like you talked about with Tsushima or, you know, the build that you did here for Astrologian. Do you feel like having built them and then played the game with that it gives you a different appreciation for the classes? Does it like give you a different sense of how you even connect to how they feel or like the immersion of the game?
I will say it gives me a sense of how well made the game is. It is, I guess, accessible is the right term. That like, it is. What's the word? I'm not worried that I do stuff like this and feel like I'll get left behind because the game itself is very easy to pick up and it's still fun for like all skill levels. And I'm like, yeah, that's super. And appreciation wise to the class, I'm like, yo, I don't really feel like I'm in the game, but when I was using that dual disc, I was like, yeah, I'm already on J now. I'm the Astrologian now. I think it's, for me, it's a lot more fun. I don't expect everyone to have fun with it, but I have fun doing it. And like I said, it just reminds me that 14 is a well put game together, that I could do stuff like this and not have to worry about things going wrong. So, and like, oh yeah, if I don't get all 3 cards in the right slot, that's fine because you still give busts to the parties even with the wrong suites or something. So
Very
I was
cool,
gonna say
very
something not really mean, but
Hmm.
earlier when you were like, nobody seemed to notice, and I was just thinking, that's because nobody pays attention to Astro.
yeah, I understand. It's the hard life we live.
Yeah, only if you play an Astro, I feel, or if you're like really like DPS hungry, do you notice if you get a card. And just like, unless you play Astro, you do not notice the stars on the ground.
You're like, oh, thank you for the boss. I
Astros-
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Astros
See you later.
continuously have to tell people, hey, get on my stars, dummy.
Please stand in here.
I didn't get enough healing. That's why I died to the AoE. Well, you weren't standing in the star now, were you? So, sounds
Now
like
we
your
just have
problem.
secret handshakes when you see another Astro in the trial group, and you're like, yeah, you know, and like, yeah, I know. Like, which
It's
one do
funny
you want
because
to stay?
that is my Astro healer, and Rage is like, okay, everybody get in. I dropped a star.
Yeah,
What?
I'm gonna start.
What did you?
Huh?
I don't see. All right, I'll move in.
We had a raid call for a while where we just would say stars.
Mhm.
It kind of like morphed into the Resident Evil thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Nemesis
gosh.
going stars.
Stars.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh man, I just watched the Resident Evil movies. They're so good.
Oh.
Good, bad. Sorry, not to do too much.
They are my
good,
guilty
bad.
pleasure. They're so terrible.
1 through 6. So like the Retribution. What was her name? Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Jovovich. Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone except for the last one. I was like, these are so good, bad movies. I love video game movies. I hope 14 has a Netflix series, right? Or
Yeah.
Some kind of
Some
show
kind
is
of-
in
yeah.
development. We
Kind of
don't know where
show.
it'll drop. But
Yeah.
it's got
Who
pushed
knows?
back with everything else. But hopefully, in the next few years,
It's on the
hear
way.
a little bit more. But
You have a bunch of games that, obviously you have, talked about wanting to do different things for, that you've already done different stuff for, with like mapping these controllers and this kind of content. Are there any games that for you, you're like, this would be one, or even, future releases that we don't have yet or anything like that, where you're going, this would be something that one day I would just love to do something for. I really want to do something for this.
that's a good question because I haven't even thought that far. But I've been getting super into Square Enix stuff lately. I've just been on a JRPG grind. I don't know, just since I haven't played them in forever, I would just love to do stuff for future Final Fantasy titles just for fun. Elden Ring is something that it could be really fun. There's a horse in it. I'm in Texas. I could find a horse.
Oh,
no. Oh no.
come here, Buttercup.
Or
We're gonna
like-
cover you in flex
Wait,
sensors.
we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
No.
Or like one of those, I don't know, I'm thinking of like the children's rocket, like the, like in
Yeah.
parks where they're
Yeah.
on the little
Oh, I have the toy horse
where-
that I was
Yeah, the
gonna
toy
make.
horse.
Yeah, I don't know what
anytime
it
you
is.
wanted to like ride your horse, you could just go like back and forth on it and then like use the controller to direct you.
I will say, I guess the next Final Fantasy VII remake, it'd be really cool to have, since you could swap the characters like the first one. I do have like a boxing glove controller. Someone could be Tifa with me, so if we swap the Tifa, they could box, and like I could have the buses for sword for Cloud. We could make a rotating gun somehow for Barrett.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool to have like 3 people get together and like, hey, do you want to play 7 remake like this? And they'd be like, no, and I'm like,
You'd have
well,
to be
too bad.
in costume
and
and
I'll wear the
recorded.
Tifa costume real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's like,
Yes.
but yeah, I whatever's fun, I just hop onto. Right now, 14, it's a ton of fun. So, and the community's really nice. I mean, I think we all know this, but the community was super nice towards. I haven't read a single toxic comment about it, and I was like,
Right.
oh, y'all are so sweet. We don't deserve y'all.
I mean, it's really freaking cool. So if you don't like freaking cool things, then you might get leave a bad comment, but then
Yeah.
everybody's gonna murder you with their words. I don't know. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Like I'm ready to work on the next thing. Dancer, like I said, I'm scared for my back, but I'm excited to see
I believe
how
in
it
you.
goes.
Just limber up before you play.
Oh yeah,
just
Everybody-
stretch.
Just some stretches.
Yeah.
Call off sick for work for a couple days. Yeah, we'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
What happened? I
Just
can't
fine.
move. What were you doing?
Can't
Playing video game. I mean, helping a neighbor move.
Yeah, moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was dancing.
Mhm.
So we saw you on this podcast about you're actually talking about this exact scenario. You were dancing.
Caught.
weren't
You never know. You never
Never know.
know.
It could be
who
another
watches these
Lewis.
things. Yeah.
Mm.
Lewis is a common name, maybe. I don't know. Text is probably not. But
I think you are the first Lewis I've met.
nice.
If I'm being honest here. So
I hope I did the Lewis group proud. I hope I wear the
as
Lewis
far
name
as
proud.
Lewis's
Yeah.
go, and I don't know of any other ones, I would say good job
Thank you.
representing the Lewises.
All I can think of is Louis Soir. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Oh my gosh,
time to
if
cosplay
you
Lewis
were
Wall.
a Final Fantasy 14 only 14 creator and you had made your name Louis Soir, that
Sure.
would have been so good.
Well,
So very good. And you should do a
And it's just-
cosplay. Yes.
SWA.
what was it? I saw on Reddit my favorite names are the workout groups, like Orion Gaines is something I really
Yes.
want to do
Oh
now.
my gosh,
Yes.
that- yeah, those have picked
Alice
up quite a
Wall.
bit
Yo,
the
was
last
it
couple.
Yoke Stall?
Yeah.
Was it
Mhm.
Yoke Stall Valhalla. There were so many good ones in there.
Oh, man.
Like, Alpha Games and what was Alize?
I thought it was Alice Swole, right?
Alice Swole, and then Alpha
Yeah.
Games. I was dying every time I
Oh
saw.
my gosh.
And they were all in the same free
I
company,
think
right?
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the name was?
I'm sure there's a list somewhere.
Yeah,
Is it the
I don't remember.
7th Gym of Science or 7 Science Gyms or something?
Makes sense.
That's incredible. I love it. I
Community
love
is crazy, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into it. So
Yeah.
Well, we talked about your like future projects that would be, adapting controllers and things like that. But do you have a dream cosplay? Is there something that you're like, I'd love to do this one?
oh yeah, well, I really wanted to do a Dark Knight cosplay. Or what's the set in the Crystarium card?
It
The
is
Crystarium
Science of the
Greaves?
Seventh Gem.
Okay, that's one. I really want to do a Dark Knight cosplay at some point because I really like the armor sets.
Mhm.
However, I don't want to melt in them, and
Yeah.
Texas cons are really. I've seen people's parts come off of their thing because the glue melted.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but I think that'd be really fun. And I know some people in my group want to do an Astrologian cosplay, and I'm like, all right, if you do it, you have to wear the dual disc. That's just how it is. If you're my friend, sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
Contractually obligated to wear this now.
yeah, there's some cool cosplays. I know somebody wanted to cosplay Tsukiyomi. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but
You got
her
it.
primal. Okay, yeah, she's really cool. I was like, if you can get a whole moon behind you, A plus.
Mhm.
Just
Oh.
the actual literal moon.
So
which
heavy.
is-
Sorry if you have to get through some doors, but
There's that
That's hard
there's
for the
that
cosplay.
movie coming out, Moonfall. That's actually just somebody trying
Mhm.
to set up a Tsukiyomi cosplay.
Yeah.
We went to see Shang-Chi when we were together, and one
That's
of
a good movie.
the previews
Mhm.
one of the previews was Moonfall, and I just
Mhm.
kind of leaned over and was like, "Been there."
Yep.
It's actually the next
Not even a big
expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, what are y'all looking forward to the next expansion? I'm ready to lose lots of hours. Like I think I hardcore did. Well, I didn't like. I
Is
played it
yes
every
a
time I
valid
got
answer?
awful.
I just want to say yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like everything.
Sure,
Yeah.
I think that's
Yes. I mean, all of the
And
stuff-
walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard because I mean, like, I am so excited for every single piece of
Mhm.
new content they give us. I'm so excited for the like all original, end game content that we're getting. I'm so excited for all of that. But really, genuinely, I'm just excited for the story. Like that's
Yeah,
the
right?
thing.
Right.
Like, I'm so
Where is it going?
excited. Exactly. And like that's the thing that I am just every second of every day trying not to consciously fixate
Right.
on and yet fixating on.
I was like, well, if Shadowbringers made me freaking cry, I said, dang it, not again. Y'all get me every
Get
time.
ready.
And I'm like,
I'm
oh, is Endwalker
excited.
gonna make me cry again? Ah, not again.
Yes, it will many times. I'm excited about the AF for Dancer. I'm excited about the story. I'm excited specifically about the stuff that I think we're gonna get about like the gods and that mythology.
Mhm.
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 I really hope that's what that ends up being. That's the 24 man.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The
So
12.
24 man, which generally I love the 24 mans anyway.
Yeah,
So
they're fun.
smooshing them all together, and I'm like, yes, give me this, yes. I'm excited about all of the dungeons before the level cap because those are all really interesting.
I'm excited to lose again because I'll never forget when we first did Innocence and it was a mess. We were like, how do you win? We
First
didn't
time.
get the birds in time, y'all. Like, but it was really fun to like 8 random people you don't know all trying to beat a boss for the first time. No guides, just survive.
Let's just see what happens.
We have
my
90
gosh.
minutes. It'll take us 85. Like,
Yeah.
This Astrologian isn't buffing any of the DPS. He must be playing on a dual disc.
Wow.
well, when,
That's gonna
Shadowbringers-
become a meme. If
Yeah.
that becomes a meme, how will you feel? Just be like
I've
so
done
happy.
my part. I
Yeah.
converted more people to Astrologian. That's all I needed.
But giving them an excuse. It'll be like the Dragoon thing is, you're a Dragoon, you're gonna die.
You're
This one is, Astro, no cards, you're playing on a
You're playing on a dual disc.
Yeah. So is the
You're a
story
Yugioh
and
fan.
or the like first experience stuff what you're most looking forward to, Lewis?
That
or
and
is
the
there
music. I
Yeah.
love
Sure, yeah.
14 soundtrack. I was like, ooh, Shadowbringers has some good. Heaven's Word has some like I really enjoy the music for the most part. It makes grinding pretty fun. Or enjoyable.
That reminds
yeah.
me too. While we're talking about the music, there was a tweet. I forget which account it was from. Square Enix has a handful. They're going to be putting Death Until Dawn autographed copies
Mhm.
up. I want to say September 30th. So if you haven't, unfortunately, like everybody that's wanted this album has already pre-ordered it, and it's like coming out in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it took them so long to get to that, but if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, that might be something you would be interested in. So keep an eye out for that. It's either like the Square Enix merch site or the Twitter or the Square Enix music Twitter. It's out there somewhere. If you're interested, I'm sure you can find it. But I saw that last night and I was like, cool. I just got the email that I'm getting charged for my non-autographed album in a couple of days, but that's cool.
Let's be honest. You're gonna get the autographed ones and like frame it, put it up really nice and pretty, and the other one
If
you'll
I
actually
had
listen
wall
to.
space, I mean,
I see some space on that windowsill beside you.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it in the windowsill. Are you kidding me? They would get all nasty and no. Anyway,
See, a lot of things don't
Just try and help.
survive well up here on the moon. You know.
Oh, you're just in
that's why I
time for
don't have
Endwalker.
Yeah, I've been getting it ready for everybody. It's just about done.
Aldino,
Okay.
is what you're looking most forward to with Endwalker the fact that after like a year of isolation on the moon, you're finally going to have guests again? I guess more than
he's
that. If
finally gonna have
depending
people that
on-
can run errands for him,
Right.
and fetch quests.
I can
and-
finally find out if these little bunny people are real because I'm not quite sure.
Honestly, like that's the best place to write out the pandemic, right? The
Yeah,
moon.
it's true.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Took a
Mhm.
good advantage of that opportunity to get up there,
Mhm.
get some space.
First person, he says, "You can see them too, right?
Yeah,
It's not just
exactly.
me."
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's the first quest on the moon.
They're like they're like the Pixies. They're like mischievous and they're like playing games with you. Except like their game is like they just don't talk to you and they just
Don't exist.
they
Yeah.
act like they might not be there but are there, and they're just like completely messing with you.
It'd be great. We need that quest line.
Yeah, what else? Yeah. No, Endwalker. I don't remember how it happened to Shadowbringers, but I remember when that came out, like every day after work. I was like, well, 6 hours, 8 hours, let's go, everybody. Like, I don't know how people still beat it in 2 weeks. And I was like, I played this so much. and
that's
it took
the
me a
trick.
month.
We take
I'm like,
off work.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. I should figure that.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
sick for 2 weeks, specifically on Endwalkers.
Right.
No. You just ask like 4 months ahead of time. I
Okay,
am
okay.
going on vacation.
Oh, okay,
Well, see,
okay.
and if you take time off, you don't need the 2 weeks. You could do 1 week.
yeah.
You could do 1 week. I mean, just plan out your
3
meals,
days.
plan out your meals, or schedule your DoorDash deliveries ahead of time.
Mhm.
Mm-mm-mm.
I trust Square Enix. Shadowbringers was a great launch. There's like, I don't know how many more people.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe just wait for a little bit.
I
mean, you could take the time off anyway.
I love Square Enix. They handled Shadowbringers so well.
So well.
But I don't want to say that I am expecting issues,
Sure.
I know what you mean.
but I would not be surprised if there were issues.
Sure.
And that's okay.
Well, I mean, they've anticipated, right? And you can imagine. I mean, based of all the off all the data and everything that they've had, they always think about this as they look at new expansions, as how they're prepping, how they're dividing their labor beforehand. Implementing the Oceania data center and trying to make sure that they could balance everything else. But nobody foresaw a pandemic that has driven more players than ever to MMOs. Nobody foresaw the exodus from WoW. I mean, although maybe there were some hints about other games being competitive, and there have been some other things that weren't so good that have been going on for a while. Like people weren't expecting this conflux of events that all I think have driven such an astronomical amount of players to the game. So it is one of those things where right now I'm like, I believe in this team and their ability to handle this, but whether or not they were able to scale to what they need to do with all these unexpected factors, we'll just have to see at the release, and they will be doing everything they can,
It's the perfect
the
storm
timing.
of
Yeah.
Well, with the
suffering from
timing,
success.
things were already pretty much lined up to be released a certain way, so it's not like they can go back and be like, oh shit. At this point, what all they can do is just add more instances, which was very helpful last time. But I think Charles said last time we had a show, they actually took the quest line and split it.
Yeah.
When we had the Alfino Alze split. And
So you
that
got
was a
two
good
different
way
zones.
that was a good way to alleviate people all piling into one area as well.
Yeah,
So
that was really
we'll
I mean,
it's a
probably
really
have that
good
again.
That's some good game
the
design.
hardest
We'll
part
see.
right now, though,
Yeah.
is that it's going to be that server thing, right? Because even if they
Yeah.
wanted to, they
Sure.
can't really do anything right now.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's just
Who
it's the-
saw that coming, right? I was like, this summer, like I got into because I saw
Yeah.
all my friends like starting playing 14. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I played this game too. I played it all the time back then. Like,
Mhm.
and out of nowhere, no new content and like a huge influx of players.
Yeah.
there was something I wanted to ask you, actually, that dawned on me thinking about like putting time and energy and schedules and things. How long do you think this build for Astrologian took you from start to finish?
If I would say a week's worth of like free time, like 2 to 3 hours a day for a
One
week.
week?
Yeah.
Well, it took you?
Rook's
hardest
like, all
part
right,
was
bye everybody. I'm
constantly
gonna go.
Yeah, no, it takes the hardest part is doing the concept out. So I've done a lot of this in the past, so like I want to make sure everything is ready to go before I do the hardware. So the hardest part at the beginning is just trying to figure out, okay, we draw on the drawing board, like how does this going to work? How am I going to do this? And then we do the implementation phase, or I do the implementation phase. If everything works out, it's really fast. If it doesn't, it takes another couple more days. But this isn't, for me, this isn't the biggest build. Like the Buster Sword build is going to take 3 weeks. No ifs, ands, because I have to first figure out what are the accelerometer values when you swing a Buster Sword a certain way. I got to figure out, all right, how do I connect this to my PS5 and not have it drop in latency? Like that stuff will take a bit longer. But the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist was like a week of free time. And I think the Connect Dance one could probably be done this weekend if I don't play Tails all day. So.
But you should.
But I should, yeah.
Maybe.
Talking about
Enjoy yourself.
the pricing earlier, I was curious. I'm on eBay.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
things
you
are
were good.
not.
Oh yeah, what is?
Those
They're
are
cheap,
not cheap. So the one that you're using,
I think it's like
I'm
the Mattel.
seeing they're running maybe like 70 plus.
Thank you, past child Lewis, for not throwing it away.
Yeah, they are not cheap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ooh, yeah, let me look this up because there are newer versions that would actually fit on my wrist and fit all the stuff in there. But like I said, I found that in the closet and I was like, oh,
Somebody's
perfect.
trying to sell it new for $1,000. I don't know if they're gonna sell that.
I saw your video.
I saw the video.
Right?
I was like, all right, we can see
Single-handedly. He's like that one crafter on the server that just jacks up the price for something, and everyone's like, great. Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, cardboard's cheap.
Yeah, cardboard. Yeah, there are some good tutorials to make it
You
out
were
of
talking
cardboard.
about 3D printing stuff too, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of good 3D models for that stuff too. So if you have the means, it's not too expensive to make, but
It's definitely
Remember,
a fun
it doesn't
project.
matter how it looks, as long as it works.
as long as you have fun.
As you
That's
have
the
fun.
overall goal.
Yes, absolutely.
All in steps, and every step will go wrong, but then you'll figure it out. It's fun.
It's a learning experience.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I learned in industry game dev. I was like, everything's on fire. And they're like, yes, everything will be on fire forever.
Literally the whole time.
Yeah. I'm like, now 5 years later, I'm like, what's that meme with the dog drinking and the fire?
That's fine.
No, this is
Everything's
fine. Everything's fine.
That's my
If you look
icon
really
on
close, he's got
Slack.
the dual disc on the table there behind his coffee mug. It's really hard to see though.
Yeah. My whole mascot at work is the dissatisfying dog. I have like the background, the green screen background for Zoom. I have a couple of pops because it's just fire. It's fine. You'll get around it.
Aldino, I have to ask you, with your experience and like all the things that you've done with mocap and stuff like that, if you were ever to do a build, something inspired maybe by some of the stuff that Lewis has been doing, or something that would use your knowledge, what would you do? What would you make? I can't make anything, so I can't compete you.
Well, not with that attitude.
To me, the Summoner book is interesting because I could see it being with gesture controls. You could actually draw something, right?
Yeah.
Not anything super complicated, right? Just a little bit, like a line for this, or you know, maybe an X. I haven't looked into those type of gesture thing, but it could even be like one of those e-readers or note takers, right? So you could really write something and have it do things. So you could say go and have Carbuncle sick. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool. Also be very annoying. So I don't think that I'm going to do that. But
That would be amazing.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I was gonna say graphite is a conductor, so technically you could set up a page, and as long as you belong, like you can detect how long they're writing in it. You wouldn't be able to, or at least in my idea, if you're gonna just do graphite, you wouldn't be able to detect what they're writing. But if they're writing in the book for this long, then activate this.
Yeah,
or something
like
that.
Cross these lines or something like that. Yeah. Like that would be.
That'd be kind of cool.
Have an action for like be the asshole that pulls early with the Eggy. It's like, all right, here we are. We're standing here. The fight could start anytime. We're right here at the line. I'm just going to start writing this. We'll see if the tank pulls before I finish this.
Look, I wait till 2. and I press a button,
Yeah.
and it never goes wrong. It's fine.
That would be super cool. I love that idea. Especially too because I think it's so easy, at least for me, it's easy to
Mhm.
forget in 14 because I don't play a whole lot of Summoner and Scholar, that technically you are supposed to be like drawing these different like
Yeah.
sigils and these different things to these arcane
Yeah.
equations that supposedly apparently arcane equations are basically
Vogue.
just
Vogue.
Yeah.
voguing, you're just voguing, but and
Yeah.
I mean,
drawing
at this
more.
point, it's a vintage dance, right? It's our
Yeah.
equation.
And I mean, and if it was a book, the whole book is a controller. Closing it,
Oh, closing.
changing
Yeah.
pages,
Opening.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it'd get really complicated. It'd be hard.
It'd be
But you
hard.
can do it.
What if you run out of pages mid-fight? You're just like,
Yeah.
sorry, guys, that's the run.
Sorry, I'm done.
What you
I
do
didn't-
is you just have like 2 etch-a-sketches.
Yeah.
And you
I
write
was
it, and
gonna
then you shake it.
That would be so good. Or like there are those ones that even you can actually use something like a pen almost, and it like I don't know if it magnetizes.
Oh, the ones where you like
I don't
you
know.
like
Oh, yeah,
decorate
yeah,
the
the-
guy's
You
face
You have to
with
play
like the-
Operation to play
yeah.
Summoner. There you go.
There you go. I think that's graphite, right? With the magnetize? I've
so.
never.
so, yeah.
I think so.
I feel like
I
if
don't
you
know.
open those up, you're like something bad happens.
Yeah, most likely.
You open a portal somewhere. I've never seen that
Yeah.
thing open up before.
Because when you were talking about when I first heard about motion capture, I was like, is this like there's a Twitch streamer who uses a suit,
yeah.
and so I was like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
that gets super complicated, but like
Mhm.
that
That'd be
of
cool.
course at that point your whole body
Yeah.
is a controller, and it's really
They saw
fast.
people doing the VTubing and they're like, hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Full
right?
motion capture.
Because you definitely could. It's very expensive, but it's not
Yeah, it's
insanely so.
yeah. Once you get the suit, you can get an Unreal or use Unreal really easily with
Yeah,
it. It's just the
really
suit's
easy.
like what, $4,000, and I'm like,
Easy, yeah.
oh, it's probably for like a good suit. Like if you want,
Yeah.
Imagine playing Dancer with that. You'd be
Yeah.
so tired.
I mean,
by the
it's the,
I'm tired
It's the
just thinking
same-
about it.
yeah, I was gonna say.
it's the
I
same
mean-
suit that they probably use for a lot of animations for games that you're playing too, because a lot of animators will just put the suit on, not even go to mocap, and just
Mhm.
do stuff. And so
It would
yeah,
be a
it's
good
kinda
workout
cool.
again, right? We're thinking
Yeah.
of alternative ways to
Oh yeah.
keep moving while playing.
Mhm.
I'll
tell
just
you-
play Beat Saber. That's fine.
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just
Beat
imagining
Saber
like
is
this
more-
guy like at his desk in like the tight suit now, just do.
Yep.
What you working on today, Carl? Oh, just doing some more attack animations.
Yep, it's literally the truth.
Yeah. So my office used to be next to a mocap room,
Yeah,
and they do the voice acting in there too, and they're screaming and rolling around. I'm like, I
Yep.
couldn't do it. I can't.
first time
It's
I
cool,
heard
though.
someone set on fire for a game, I was like, you are a great actor. Also, I don't want to be anywhere near this stage right now.
Oh my.
What's
That's
my
some cool
motivation?
tactic.
You are on
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah,
All right.
So were they weren't actually on fire.
no,
No.
they were just really convincing.
I mean, sometimes stunt doubles are though, like
Yeah,
in
sometimes they are.
in films, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're not gonna light that very expensive suit on fire though.
No.
Please don't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so any final thoughts here before we wrap this up? I mean, we've talked about so many things. So many.
Well, I just
I
want
can't wait to
thank you all
see.
for
I can't
having
wait
me
to see
on.
the Buster Sword. I
Oh,
can't
of
wait.
course.
And
Thank you.
So much
I
fun.
wish you all the luck in
Thank
not
you.
destroying your ceiling.
Right.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
And the dancer, I'm so excited about the dancer stuff too. This was
Uh-huh.
such a cool build to see, and it's so fun to see how people can use, I mean, everything that they love, all their passions, all of their interests to like come together in this way to bring something new or a new experience or a new take on a game that we all play and love.
Mhm.
It was so cool to see, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more stuff because like I'm really enjoying 14, and this could be a
Mhm.
fun adventure for stuff. Like I said, I think the end goal is hopefully let me see if I can find 8 people and do a savage raid and see if we
Yeah.
can do stuff with a weird setup. And that'd be really fun.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
I mean, you have 4 right here.
Oh
Yeah, I mean-
it's not-
Which is fun.
Given
Hey,
the right instructions,
We all
I
have
can
grocery
stick wires
stores.
in
We
a
can go buy
banana.
bananas.
I can't
Yeah.
use banana. Sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm technologically illiterate, but if given the right instructions, I can do it. I can do it.
Mm.
I believe. Well, maybe there's a chance I can't, but
Believe in yourself.
It keeps
thank you,
changing.
Zed.
You can do it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You said
Believing's half the battle.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Lewis, where can people find you online? Where can they find you all your content that you're making?
Oh yeah, the best way to find me is on Twitter at superlewis_64. Someone else owns superlewis64, and we're battling to see who gets. I don't think they ever use the account, but Twitter is the
Oh.
easiest way to do it. If you want to see the videos, YouTube, same username. I try to stream every once in a while. Mostly my internet's pretty bad. I'm surprised it didn't go out here, but I love my ISP, and they do really good work. But
Something
hopefully
wrong
that
with
changes.
your eye. It seems
Oh
like
no,
you're
nothing.
switching a little bit.
I think, well, I'll be switching near the end of the month, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, YouTube or Twitter, and if you ever need help with building stuff like this, I am super open to help out. So
That's awesome.
Nice.
Very cool. And of course, we'll have links into the descriptions as well, and Twitch chat and everything for people to check that out as well. If you want to contact us, you can find me everything at Raffledurg, Zenidra.
Zenidra. I'm
Zenidra?
Zenidra_A at Twitter. I'm Strawberry Bop on Twitch, and I'm +1 shot. The one is a number on YouTube. And that's the D&D channel that Charles and I are currently working
ooh,
on.
Yep.
Oh,
And how
where
do you
can
know?
people find you?
If you search that really stupid name, you'll find me on Twitter. That's basically it. I'm not
He is
I'm not on the internet
all
that
the
much.
social platforms, including Twitter and
Including
Twitter. He's also on Twitter.
I might be moving to Twitter soon too.
Ooh, that's a bold move.
Yeah, but I'm also on +1 shot with Zenitra.
And Rook, where can people find you?
Bird of Chess everywhere. So Twitter and Twitch and YouTube, Instagram, all the places.
And Twitter.
Bird of Chess.
If you want, you can contact the show. You can email us, aetheryteradio@gamerescape.com. You can tweet at us at Aetheryte Radio. And of course, you can find us as Gamer Escape on all the things: Twitter, Twitch, obviously, YouTube, Facebook, and discord.gg/Gamer Escape. We have an Aetheryte Radio channel on there where you talk to us about the show. We also have a 14 channel. We have an MCU channel where we're talking about What If every week, all sorts of stuff. So
Ooh.
come and join us for that. And that is going to do it here for this week. Again, we are thinking about doing live reactions to the live letter that's coming up, so keep an eye out on those Twitter accounts and Discord for that. We'll announce times
Apparently,
and
I will be
information for
drunk.
that.
Newsflash: Zenidra will be drunk.
You said it was okay, so.
Well, I guess now it's a thing. That's good. It's a thing that's going to happen. So look out on the socials for information for that. And that'll do it for us for this week. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you here next time.
Bye.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining